Hello there, my lovely stitchy friends. I'm Kat and welcome to my channel, Catkin and Lily, where we talk all things cross stitch. Today I have a floss tube for you. It's episode number 14 and it's the 10th of January 2024. Yes, we are here in 2024 and I'm very excited for a shiny new year with so many cross stitch possibilities. I am definitely trying to cram probably too much into 2024. But looking forward to it all the same. If you're a returning viewer, then thank you so much for coming back to hear more about all my cross-stitch nonsense. And if you're new here, then welcome. I hope you'll enjoy seeing all my cross-stitch projects. I feel like I have had such a good start to my stitchy year. I had 6 projects lined up to work on in January, with another one to be added later. At least one. Who knows? Who knows with me? It's just chaos. But yeah, 6 to start with. And already I have had one new start and one finish. So yay, that feels like a really fantastic start. So obviously I've got all that to share later. I've got some little bit of new stash to share with you. But first, there's something that I think we need to talk about. Now, a very lovely and long-time viewer pointed out that if you hooked me up to a lie detector while I was filming these floss tubes, it would be off the chart. And I can't really argue with that. It's not deliberate, it's just that I change my mind quite often. I'll decide I'm going to do something and then 5 minutes later I want to do something else. There's no help for it, I'm afraid. If you stick around here for any length of time, you will see how indecisive I am and how much I just change what I'm going to do. That's just how it is. So what am I on about this time, specifically? Well, you might have worked it out already from the title of my video and the thumbnail. It's WIPGO. I talked last time, in my last FlossTube episode, all about my plans and said I absolutely wasn't going to do WIPGO because I didn't need the additional complication in my life, but apparently I do. Now, there is a story to how this came about. Because I was watching Teresa Little Stitcher, who, if you haven't seen, a lot of people know Teresa Little Stitcher and her floss tubes. If you haven't seen her, definitely go give her a watch. But I was watching hers and she has a stitching tracker. So I went on her website and downloaded the stitching tracker because I thought it would be really nice to have a spreadsheet to track what I'm stitching. Now, a lot of the time I do like pen and paper, but I also like a spreadsheet. So I downloaded this so I could keep track of the days, which projects I stitch on which days. I don't keep track of the number of stitches I do because most of my projects are not in an app, so I can't really easily track number of stitches. But I thought just tracking which projects I stitch, how many days I stitch on them over the month and the year, that would be quite fun to do. So I downloaded that, put everything in, and then I realised there's a tab for WIPGO. So there was a board, basically all set up to go. I just needed to put some goals in. So a few minutes of playing later and I had a WIPGO board. So I'm doing WIPGO. I think in the end, the gamification of it, the idea of having these things that I can tick off when I've achieved them, yeah, it's like catnip for my brain basically, and I couldn't resist. So it's happening. Now, if you have no idea what I'm talking about, you haven't come across WIPGO, there are people out there who can explain it probably better than me, and I will link a WIPGO how-to video from Jessie Marie Does Stuff, who was the creator of WIPGO. So I'll link that in the description. There's a video all about how to do it. But it's basically bingo for your WIPs. So it's a standard 5x5 bingo board, and you can put goals in each of the squares for things that you want to do over the year. And then 2 numbers will get called each month and you try to achieve those goals. Now, obviously that gives you 2 goals every month. That gives you 24. So the middle space is often considered a free space, which is what I've done. So when that one gets called, there's 3 goals for that month, but one of them's free choice. So it's basically already a win. Now, there are lots of ways that you can use your WIPGO board. So I've gone quite eclectic with mine. It's not just about working on my WIPs. I have put some of that in there, but I wanted to include some other things in there as well. And Jessie Marie, who invented it, she always says, your board, your rules. So I've got my board, I've got it printed out here, but what I'll do, I'll put one on screen and I'll just talk you through what I've put on my board so you can see what I'm planning to get up to. I didn't want it to be super complicated goals. I wanted some of them to be a bit of a challenge, but some of them just to be quite easy so I could tick them off. So I'll run you through, let's put the board up and I will run you through what I'm doing. So I started out with adding 3 WIPs that I haven't really touched recently, and I've put those on there twice. So each of those 3 WIPs is on there twice. So that's the Wildflower Wreath, Birds at the Water Pump and House in the Woods. So those ones I haven't worked on loads, and I thought I'd put those on there twice each to work on them for 5 days in the month. So no stitch goal, just 5 days a month. It just means I'll pick them up and touch them and work on them. And that'll just help to move those forwards. Then I put my Chromatic Dragon on there, and that's on there 3 times with a fairly ambitious goal of 5,000 stitches for the month. That one I can track stitches, so that's got a stitch goal. I'll talk more about that when I show you that WIP later. But that's really there just to, I'm not going to finish this anytime soon, but I thought it'd be nice to give it some months where it gets a bit of a boost, maybe a bit more than it normally would. Then I've got 4 slots for Fancy Lady. So this could be any of the Fancy Ladies I'm stitching, so it should be a fairly easy one. But I have put 2 of them at 5 days and 2 of them at 10 days. So that one would be a bit, it's not ambitious because I stitch pretty much every day, so I can stitch on it for 10 days. It's just maybe more than I normally would. So again, just something to prompt me to work on those Fancy Ladies. Then I've got 3 slots for Christmas and 1 slot for Halloween. So just prompts to pick up and stitch something on those themes. I've got 1 FFO slot in there, so just to give me a prompt to actually finish something that I might have kicking around, actually fully finish that off. And I've got 4 new starts on here. Now, a lot of people use the new starts as rewards for when they get a line full on their bingo board. I'm not doing that. I'm throwing them in there as actual goals because I thought it'd be fun to have the WIPGO board basically give me permission to do a new start. I just thought it would randomise things, and I don't know why I thought that bit of extra chaos would be fun, but I did. So new starts could pop up at any time. And then I've got 2 slots for organising, because there's always stuff that I need to get around to organising, whether it's patterns or fabric or threads or whatever. So I thought if I put it on my board, again, it's just a little nudge to actually get on and do some of that. And of course I've got my free space. So that is my board. That's what I'm going to be working on. And of course we already have the numbers for January, which is 9 and 22. Number 9, is it 9? Yeah, number 9 was the new start. So that's easy because I already had a new start plan for January. So yeah, that's ticked off. And the second one was the Chromatic Dragon. So more on that when we get to it. In fact, I think we should do that right now. Let's get into the WIPs and see what I've been stitching. So the first WIP I have is the Castle Homecoming Stitch Along from the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. So I've been stitching this one since it started in May last year. And the picture on the screen now has got, that's up to and including part 9 of 10. So we're getting towards the end. I'm still working on part 8. Here we go. I have made some good progress since last time. So I think I might even have done, this was part 8, was the big tree over here. Part 9 is this tree up here and this castle, which I've very nearly finished. So I've got the castle up here to finish the top of. I've got another little jousting flag in there. And then that will be part 9. Sorry, that's part 8. I've printed out part 9, so I've got that ready to go. And part 10 is out on the 1st of February. So I feel like I'm fairly on track to try and finish it by the end of February, which was what I would like to do. So yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about that one. The second WIP is my chameleon. So this is the Menagerie Illusion from Bothy Threads, and it is back in my active WIPs, which I am super excited about. It had gone on timeout just generally for rotating my WIPs a little bit, and I am really excited to pick it back up again. So I've popped on screen where I was last time, and let's take a look. Here he is. It's been a little while since you've seen him, but I've been working this area over here. Now there is still quite a lot to do. There's a lot more down here. There's a whole big bit of his head up there. So let's give you a little bit of a close-up on him. So he has still got a fair way to go, but he is a focus piece really for me for January, because I really want to push this forward. And in fact, this could be, it's probably the closest I've got to the next finish. And I just really want to get it done. There are so many other ones actually in this series and some other ones from Bothy Threads that I really want to get to. So I have to finish this one first. So it's a focus piece I'm going to try and put a lot of stitches in January, including I have a project that I call my football project. So I stitch it when we're, well, watching the football. And so that's what this is as well. So it's going to get, that's usually at least 1 or 2 games per week. So there's a good couple of 90-minute blocks that I can try and get in on that. Plus I'm going to pick it up and work on it other times as well. So I'm hoping you'll see a lot of progress on that next time I show you. Next up, it's the big one. It's the Chromatic Dragon. And this one, I reached a really exciting milestone this morning. Just this morning, I reached 10%. 10.01%, if you want to be precise. Which is 20,946 stitches. So let's have a look, because again, there's quite a lot of progress since the last time you saw it, I think. Here's where we're at. I've been working all sorts of places. I think I've done bits over here. I've definitely pulled this section down here. I've even worked, I think, finished this black bit and got up to the horn further up here. So that is looking amazing. I am loving seeing all this coloured area coming together. But I do need to get up and stitch some more black up here. There is a very big black section up the top there, so I do need to get up to keep working with that as well as doing the colourful bit, just to kind of mix it up. And of course it's going to get a boost this month because it's on my WIPGO board for 5,000 stitches, which sounds like a lot, but it's actually not a huge amount more than I've been trying to do for the month. I stitch on this for usually 3 days a week. I usually get quite a lot of stitchy time on it on those 3 days. So I've been trying to go for maybe about 4,000 stitches a month. So 5,000 is a little bit of a challenge, but hopefully not too much. So we'll see how that goes. Actually, to be fair, for this month, I am on 2,352. And we're only a third of the way through the month. So I'm nearly halfway to my goal. So I think it's going to be achievable, but we'll see. Let's see how I'm doing with it next time we chat. The next project is The Winter's Gift by Joan Elliott, which I started in December, at the beginning of December last year. And shh, don't tell my other WIPs, but this one's my favourite. And I have been, well, I say I've been putting in a lot of stitches. I mostly stitch it just at the weekends. It does seem like it's progressing really well. And annoyingly, I didn't take a picture the last time I showed you, but I do have one from about the same time that was on Instagram. So I'll put that one in so you can see where I was at about when I showed you last time. And here's where we are. This is where we are this time. Look at that. Wow. So I've been working kind of up this side and then I'll work across. I've been doing obviously some of this beautiful green. I'll see if I can give you a bit of a close-up. Oh, that fabric is, I mean, the fabric of her dress. The fabric's gorgeous. That fabric's gorgeous. That fabric's gorgeous. It's all gorgeous. I absolutely love stitching this. As I say, it's kind of my weekend treat. Although at any point, if a fancy lady comes up on my WIPGO board, it's going to have to get more than weekends, I think. Certainly if it's a 10-day one. So that would be exciting. Now, as you may remember, I'm only stitching this for the rest of January and February. And then it's going to get swapped out. So let's see how much progress I can make with that. The next WIP is my new start. Yay! So I have talked a little bit about this one. It's the Christmas mugs by Shannon Christine Designs. But I don't think, I either haven't shared a picture of it or only a partial one because it hadn't, actually the design hadn't been finished. So I will put up for you the entire design. So it is I don't know if it counts as a stitch along or it's just called the Continuous Christmas Club. So you can sign up and you pay monthly and you get one chart every month. So I couldn't resist this because it is so cute. I've been loving Shannon Christine Designs and I really liked the idea of this. I loved the Christmas Club designs that she did last year and I saw these mugs and thought they were too cute. So I really wanted to start them. And so this is the only Christmas thing that I said I would stitch in January or February, because it's one a month and I would like to try and get it finished for the end of the year. I don't want to be too behind. So this is the only Christmas thing I'm stitching, unless Christmas comes up on my board in February. But I could just count this one. Yeah, I could just count this one then, if that comes up. So let me show you my very pathetic start. Yep, that's it. I have some white stitching. I mean, it's really pretty. The fancy borders are actually part of what drew me to this design because I love those fancy borders. And stitching the white, it's quite relaxing, but for some reason I find it quite difficult stitching white. I don't know if I find it one of the colours that's harder to get my stitches to look really neat, so I kind of have to take my time over it a bit more. But yeah, it is quite fun to do, which is just as well because there was an awful lot of it. There's, I think, 11 skeins of white to go into this design. So I'm either going to get really good at stitching white or I'm going to hate it by the end of this. We'll see, won't we? Now, you might have noticed when I showed you this, but I also made a very slight mistake because when I cut my fabric, this is how much border I wanted to leave on here. That's about 10 centimetres. I have not got 10 centimetres on this side because I did all my calculations absolutely spot on, no problem. And then when I came to make the cut, I just got the wrong number in my head and cut it slightly too short in one direction. And the irony of this is that I am actually just putting together a tutorial video on how to calculate the right size of fabric for your cross stitch project. Well, as I say, I did do all my calculations correctly, I just cut it wrong. So, anyway, it does happen to all of us, doesn't it? Oh, and I was going to show you the colours for this one actually. If I put this back up and I'll show you, because it's not actually very many. Apart from all the white, this is the colours. So we've just got some browns, some creams, bit of grey, some lovely red and green and yellow. So yeah, not many colours for such a fantastic design. The way the colours are used, yeah, it's just really nice. And means I won't be doing lots of colour changing and what have you all the time. So yeah, I think it's going to be a really enjoyable stitch. And the last, well, I can't call it a WIP anymore. The last project I have to show you is a finish. So it was the Jolly Squirrel from Pigeon Coop Designs. And here he is, all finished. The patterns on this are so lovely and he's so cute. And we have squirrels that come in our garden quite a lot and they are absolutely hilarious. So I think that's kind of why I was drawn to this one, including the squirrel that we call Creepy Squirrel, because he sits on the fence outside our house at the bottom of the garden. He sits there and he just sits and stares at us. Just sits. basically like that, for ages. Just sits there, stares in through our kitchen window. Yeah, creepy squirrel. This one's not creepy. This one is adorable. And yeah, I'm really pleased I finished it. It was quite a small design. I started it on the 24th of December, so started it Christmas Eve, and I finished it, let me double check, on the 5th of January. So yeah, really didn't take long to stitch. I'm really excited to have a finish. I haven't got anything else that's that close to a finish, so that's a nice early win for 2024. So I just now need to give it a wash and a press and pop it in an embroidery hoop, and then it can go on display. So now I am excited to tell you about the other project I've got lined up for the end of January. It's not starting until the 25th of January. It is a stitch along, and I've been eyeing up several stitch alongs. I've been enjoying having stitch alongs on the go, and there were so many beautiful ones coming out starting in 2024. It was going to be quite a hard pick, and then suddenly I saw this one. And I can't even remember where I saw this. I'm guessing it was probably somewhere on social media. But I'm so glad I saw it, because I pretty much knew that this was going to be one that I really, really wanted to do. So I won't keep you in suspense any longer. Here it is. This is the Wonders of the James Webb Space Telescope by Climbing Goat Designs. Now, there's a very special reason that when I saw this I wanted to stitch it. And that is because of lovely husband Tim. Because if I give him his full name, he is lovely husband Dr. Tim. Because yes, he is a doctor. He did a PhD in astronomy, and he, after his PhD, did some quite a bit of research, worked on various projects, worked with various telescopes around the world here, and also worked on the Herschel Space Observatory, which is another telescope that was launched by the European Space Agency in, I better get this right, 2009. So that was just, yeah, his background is in astronomy. And although he doesn't work in that field anymore, he obviously still has a huge love for it. And I hoped he would love this stitch along. But I did have to run it past him first, because with all that background knowledge, if something about the stitch along had been not quite accurate, I think it probably would have really annoyed him. Fortunately, this design, the designer says they have done loads of research, made it as accurate as possible, and lovely husband Dr. Tim approved it. He said it really was really, really good accuracy, amazing detail in such small images, and even included things like the diffraction spikes. So on the stars, there are little lines that come out from the stars. Those are unique to the images taken on the James Webb Space Telescope, and they're in the images too. So spot on in terms of the accuracy, and as you get the parts of the stitch along, you find out all about the images as well. So I just think that's going to be so fun to stitch. It's going to have a really kind of, yeah, it has a special vibe for me. So as you can see from the pattern, it's 18 little hexagons. So that's based on the shape of the mirror for the Space Telescope that is made up of these 18 hexagons. Is it 18? Yeah, it is 18. And then each of those hexagons is going to have a little image in it taken by the telescope. So yeah, I can't wait for this. It is a lot of colours. It's 85 colours, or DMC. So I am going to just pull from my stash for this one with each part that comes out, because I can't imagine it's going to use loads and loads, apart from black, which is fine. And I will probably get a full skein of the colour that's used for the outlining of the hexagons. Other than that, I'll just pull from stash as I go. Fabric, I'm a bit unsure. The model is stitched on this beautiful night sky hand-dyed fabric, which was from a lady in Finland. And honestly, I get a bit antsy ordering stuff from other places, and I would probably rather just order something from the UK. It's usually better from a postage point of view. Yeah, it's just going to be cheaper as well. But I'm struggling a little bit, so I have ordered something, but we'll see. I will maybe update you next time, but since what I've ordered is hand dyed, that also could take a while to arrive, so obviously I just need to be patient with that. So I guess more on that one next time we chat, although it still won't even have started. I think in a couple of weeks' time it will be I think it'll be the day before. So anyway, that's something to really look forward to. Now, I did say I had a little bit of new stash to share with you, and I have ordered 2 new project bags. One of them was, I said I was going to try and get something for my winter's gift project, because the winter's gift was in a Halloween bag, which was very much not appropriate. It was just what I had to hand. So I did say I was on the lookout for a nice wintry bag to put that project in, and I found it from Not Enough WIP Bags, because her bags are stunning. Look at that fabric. I mean, that is the perfect winter bag. I've got beautiful fabric on here as well, and you've got the little charm. If I turn this the right way round. The little snowflake on the end with the beaded charm. That is gorgeous. And of course, always comes with the extra little pouch as well. Mine's rattling because it's got my beads in there. Yeah, so absolutely stunning. Her bags I highly recommend, which is why I ended up with another one that was not for any specific project, but I saw it and it was so pretty and so spring-like that I'm afraid I just ordered this one as well. Look at that. That is stunning, so stunning, and again, perfectly complementary fabric on the inside. Beautiful little fob, where's it gone to? There, I've got a little bee on the end of this one. So gorgeous. Again, you've got the little pouch for bits and pieces. So yes, I don't know what I'm putting in that one yet. I just knew I needed to have it. Then I ordered a pair of scissors because you really can't have too many scissors. So I got these gorgeous, gorgeous Millwood scissors, rainbow. I mean, yeah, just handy. You just always need a new pair of scissors in your life. And to go with it, because I do tend to just throw my scissors like that into my project bag, and I'm amazed I haven't managed to do anything hideous to my threads or my fabric or anything else by throwing my scissors in like that with those pointy tips. So I ordered myself some of these that are scissor protectors. So they are just little dinky little plastic, pop on the end of your scissor, and then ta-da! So simple, but I am hoping that will prevent any disasters with me poking things, or myself, probably. I have done that one, poked myself with the scissors, so yeah, hopefully at least there'll be no more accidents. And then I also ordered myself a few bits for beading, because I am going to have to start doing some beading at some point with my fancy ladies. So I ordered myself a tacky bill. So this is just it's a little sort of CD case. Some of you will have seen this. It's designed for me not to be able to actually get into it. Hey, there we go. It's cat proof. So it's just like a little CD case, and this is slightly sticky. So you can basically put it down, pop your beads on there, and then they're not going to go all over the place. And you can close it up and they'll stay in there, nice and safe as well. So I thought that was a really good idea, because otherwise there will be beads everywhere. I won't enjoy that. Lovely husband, Dr. Tim, will very much not enjoy that. So something to keep my beads safe, probably a good idea. And I also got myself, I've got some beading needles. Just because, although a size 28 needle, which I've got, works for most beads, the really tiniest beads, I found the 28s I'd got didn't go through all of them in the really, really, really tiny beads. So I got beading needles just for those really dinky tiny ones. It's possible some 28 brands would go through, but mine didn't. I say not the tiniest beads. For a lot of them, yes, size 28 needle is probably the easiest thing to use. But I did get the beading needles just to make sure that I can do even the really tiny ones. So I think that's pretty much me done for today. Plans wise, there's not really much to say other than what I've said. I'm going to keep working on my Chromatic Dragon, see if I can tick that WIPGO goal off my list, and all the other projects that you've seen today as well. So yeah, really just more of the same on that front. And as far as life updates or any other business, again, there's not a lot. It's just settling back into business as usual after all the holidays. The lovely break that I had, it was so nice, but now it's just getting back into that routine. And it has gone way colder again here in the UK at the moment. It's really, really chilly. So I just think that's a great excuse to stay cosy and get lots of stitching done. And I am definitely planning to have some more tutorial videos coming soon. It's kind of been a bit FlossTube heavy on here, which is no bad thing, but I am excited to come and share some tutorials with you. Obviously the one about cutting your fabric size, but I've got lots of other exciting things coming up on that front as well. So that will be keeping me busy for the next couple of weeks until we chat again. So until next time, happy stitching. Bye for now.